How you doing, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Bears Game Preview here from PNC Studio at Hallis Hall. I'm Jeff Joniak, my broadcast partner from News Radio 105.9 WBBM and the great Chicago Bear, Tom Thayer. He's smiling now, but trust me, it's another Packer week, the second version here in 2021. Beaten in October. He was angry before and after that game, and I guarantee the Bears' blood running navy blue and orange in those veins. It's Packer week. This is you. This gets you all riled up.
Yeah, but I hope it has the same effect on the players because it's going to take that type of commitment to go into Lambeau Field on Sunday night on national TV, and you want to walk out of that place with a victory. I don't care where you're at in the season or what it means, but it's huge in the organization, the franchise, in the history of this game.
So let's just break down this Bears team after the loss, first of all, to Arizona, and how it can blend into this game against Green Bay. Despite the turnovers, you can't erase them, obviously.
Right.
Don't know what kind of game it's going to wind up being because the game plan offensively was right on point. It's exactly what we hoped it would be. Control the clock, shorten the game, get the run game going. David Montgomery was outstanding, and you had 26 first downs in this game. You were 3 for 3 in your red zone touchdown efficiency. You were 10 of 19 on third and fourth down conversions. It was all right there for you.
If you could take the blueprint from last week's efforts and results, minus the turnovers, I think you could go into Green Bay and possibly win the game. However, and I know you hate when I bring this up, when I look at the weather report, they could have sustained winds of 40 miles an hour. So that may hurt the passing game a little bit.
Yes, it would.
But when you talk about David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, the tight end position, the offensive line, this is a team that should never feel more confident about their ability to run the ball against an opponent than this week. So you have to take what David Montgomery and the whole running back room has been able to complement this offensive line with and take it to Green Bay and say, hey, we are going to run the ball at you. We're going to let you know, and then we're just going to do it to you.
I loved how David Montgomery ran. Decisive, determined, the effort. You heard him after the game. That's a bear, baby. That is a bear to the bone.
I'm always motivated, regardless of the outcome of any game. I want to be as good as I can be whenever the opportunity presents itself.
When you talk about that in climate weather and you think of what Dave Montgomery does as a ball carrier, he's even more instrumental in blitz pickup and an outlet receiver. Because when you go look at what he's done from catching the ball and how determined he is to just convert him into a first down. Look, we're not looking for a 75-yard touchdown run out of you, David. We just want you to get a first down, keep us on the field, keep that clock moving, and get yourself into scoring position.
You know, defensively, the Bears have given up less than 300 yards, I think, in the last 4 games, maybe 5. So you'll take that every week. It's just been being put in some really difficult situations against Arizona, short fields. They did their best. They had a goal line stand. Great job again by Robert Quinn getting in the backfield and a tackle for loss. But, you know, you got to go into this thing thinking you're going to be as physical and as nasty as you can possibly convince yourself to be.
You know, you're going to have a great job by the defensive line when they stop this two-headed monster of the running attack they have in Green Bay. Jones and Dillon. Listen, man, they run the ball because there's a great threat of the quarterback position. But then they have their third left tackle. I don't know if David Bakhtiari is going to play this weekend. However,
good practice.
When you look at Robert Quinn in the way he's playing, if you're an offensive tackle that's playing for the first time this season, or you're a guy that's on from the third tackle in the depth chart, this is the guy that they're going to have to focus their attention on. And now maybe that attack becomes a little lopsided because you're paying so much attention to multiple bodies over Robert Quinn.
Well, Aaron Rodgers certainly remembers when he went like Superman there and bent and brought him down to the ground, one of his great sacks during this great season for Robert Quinn. The thing about the Green Bay Packers, to be honest with you, when you talk about philosophies, you talk about different styles of play, they can put anything they want on the table because they got the trigger man to do it in Aaron Rodgers. But they can be power. They can be power with the two backs, and certainly a 247 thick-thighed running back like A.J. Dillon. Again, a guy you want to have to tackle to put him down to the ground, but they can spread you out. They can go no huddle. Everything they've done against the Bears, they can do comfortably.
Right, but I mean, watching the Monday night game from this past week, weather conditions could dictate what each team has to do to each other. So as many targets that Davante Adams has, You know, if you have these conditions that make any of the quarterback less than perfect, it could put it into a running game duel. And I would love to see that. I think it would take you back to those old 40s and 50 games of the Green Bay Packers where you are still proud of handing the ball off rather than just looking downfield. And I think, again, the Bears have a running game that can go into that stadium and go toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah, with the addition of Khalil Herbert getting a few more touches here, they're using Jakeem Grant in that way as well. I will throw this stat at you. The Green Bay Packers have completed passes to 15 different players. On the defensive side of the ball, they've got 9 guys that have intercepted 12 passes. They've got 11 guys that have at least a half a sack. So they have guys that fill roles. They're superstar players who could be practicing this week. Guys like Jair Alexander on the back end, one of the best corners in the NFL, a second-team All-Pro last year. Zadarius Smith has only played 18 snaps this season. He could be practicing this week, and of course the left tackle, many believe, arguably is one of, or if not the best left tackle in football, and David Bakhtiari. We'll all see. We'll all see. They've had significant injury. So some of their weaponry has been muted right now, Randall Cobb included. Had a big first half against the LA Rams in their game before the bye week. Suffered a groin injury, don't know his status. Defensively, Devondre Campbell, he's really had a heck of a season for them. Leading tackler, could be coming off the COVID list this week.
He's a guy that came aboard late in the process of putting together your roster and lives in beyond expectations that they set for him, because he just needed to be a complementary piece to the defensive line they've had in front of him. But again, like I said, he's gone beyond that. The thing about it is with Green Bay, when you talk about the number of people that have their hand in the defensive stats, it's because they get a lead and the opponent is always trying to catch up and have some desperation throws at the end of the game. So you got to go in here and you got to be competitive from the beginning, the middle, all the way till the end. And then that's when you're not going to give those obvious defensive opportunities to your opponent.
Maybe some Bears are coming back as well. Guys like Akeem Hicks, guys like Allen Robinson. Don't know the quarterback situation just yet as of this taping. Andy Dalton with a left hand injury, and of course Justin Fields, who definitely they want to see on the field. He'll be there if he's healthy. It's pain tolerance with the ribs. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, again, you have to really evaluate how Justin feels and let him have input in how he's reacting from his recovery from the rib injury. Like Matt said from the podium, you don't want to put him in harm's way if he doesn't have the pain tolerance to go through this, because you've already told Green Bay what his injury is, and if you don't think I would try to step on Aaron's toe, they will try to hit the quarterback in the ribs if you're telling him he has bad ribs.
Still a go for the toe?
That's my motto.
The shirt's printed yet?
Yes.
Go for the toe.
Go for the toe.
Bears looking at a Packers team that, yes, they are the second-rated team right now in terms of the NFC playoff picture, but they have their own internal issues in terms of how they're playing in the red zone, both sides of the ball, third down, both sides of the ball. They're looking for improvement in those areas as well.
Anytime when you're so one-dimensional in the passing game with Davante Adams and you've had injuries at the tight end position, Aaron has to be obvious. He has to go to Davante Adams, and maybe that helps your coverage responsibilities. But again, you may want to take it out of the hands of the receiver and give it to the hands of their running game and see if the offensive line can create that push up front, just like the same challenge for the Bears. You're going to have to contend with the crowd noise. They're going to be up there cold, windy, or no matter what the conditions are. So the Bears they have to be organized on the line of scrimmage with their cadence.
One last thing, let's talk about Kenny Clark, because we always, when we're previewing the Packers, you got to deal with Kenny Clark. Yeah. He's a monster in there.
Yeah, he's one of the top 2 best defensive tackles in the NFL. And a lot of the time when Aaron gives him a lead, he gets to become the pass rusher. And he's as determined as a run stopper as there is, and he's a really heck of a hard one-on-one block for any of the offensive linemen, depending upon how they want to spread their defensive talent at the line of scrimmage. But yeah, Kenny Clark, you got to be aware of him. You got to point him out. You got to know where he is.
And for the Packers, they got to deal with Robert Quinn and a healthy Roquan Smith, who got through that hamstring injury in fine fashion against Arizona, flashing his speed against one of the speedier quarterbacks in the NFL in Kyler Murray last week. Well, that's going to wrap us up. It's another Bears-Packer game. Let's see if the Bears could even the score against Green Bay this week and get to their 5th win. For Tom Thayer, I'm Jeff Joniak. Thanks for watching, everybody.